Welcome back to my channel. It's March 2024 and I'm at Brintons Park, the People's Park in the centre of Kidderminster. This was awarded nearly £3 million in 2020 and I'm here to have a look at the park, see what this money's been spent on, what it's been spent on, if it's been spent and the results that it's given. So join me and we'll have a wander around the park. Brintons Park, the People's Park. This was given to the people of Kidderminster by John Brinton. It was opened in 1887 and it has hosted many events over the years, from Queen Victoria's Silver Jubilee. This was celebrated here in 1897 with the 3 Jubilees of Queen Elizabeth II, the silver, the diamond and the platinum. This park in the centre of Kidderminster has given everyone the opportunity for open space within the town. So when the council won the grant from the Lottery Heritage Fund, everybody looked forward to the amazing things planned. The Wyre Forest District Council's first attempt at securing this funding failed in 2017. But with amendments given to this and resubmission, this funding was secured in 2020. There had been some major investments already given to this project by the council, taxpayers' money, a donation from the community fund and a call out to volunteers to raise £100,000 towards these costs. When I looked at this, the same funding was reported by Worcester News in 2017 and again in 2020. I'm assuming that this was the same fund in both instances, 3 years apart. The key aims set out in the project was to improve the use and enjoyment of the park and enhance, conserve the historic nature value of the park. The proposals being developed for funding fall into 3 main categories: park restoration works, new physical works and proposed activities. Before we embark on this walk around the park, let's have a little look at the plans submitted. In August 2021, the contract to draw up some expensive drawings detailing the magnificent works to be carried out in the park was awarded to Brownhill Hayward Brown, Chartered Architects, to run till 31st of December 2022. These drawings depict some wonderful changes and additions to the park. But alas, as with those showing the fantastic seating and outdoor dining area at the base of Crown House, I fear that again the taxpayer will be left with some very expensive drawings of what might have been if these plans had been implemented. The question here is, were these plans funded from the £217,000 raised in 2017? The contract is dated August 2021, 1 year after the main lottery monies had been released. If they weren't funded by the previous funds, it would be interesting to see what the previous funds actually paid for. So back to the proposals: improved pathways, entrances, painting the bandstand, recreation of the lake, tree work, and I did see in one proposal that a war memorial was to be erected, a new cafe, improved toilets, it doesn't say new, the Sons of Rest building, love that plan, and signage. This is where we follow the money. One of the physical works includes improvement, access to the park and car parking. This car park does have some hard standing and is much bigger than it ever was. Of course, in Victorian times, it wasn't needed. To get from the car park into the park, we either have to walk over this terrain, which takes you up towards the play area, or back round past the garages and through the main gates. So there isn't an easy walkway here. Ahead we have the splash pad. This replaced the paddling pool and it's really great for the kids in the summer. although the fact that it has to be manned means that it is closed more often than not, as staff are just not available. It is interesting to note that this is the only park in Kidderminster that hasn't been given to the town council, as with all the other parks in the town. The reason given by Forest District Council was that Brintons Park would be difficult because they would have to transfer the nearly £3 million over to the town council. The town council was another layer of bureaucracy voted for to enable extra funding, along with bid, which takes quite a large proportion of taxpayers' money. We leave the play area behind and head over the hill towards the Park Lane entrance of the park. To our left we have Talbot Street overlooking the park, and a little look back of where we have just walked from, that back to the play area. Ahead of us, as we walk towards the Park Lane entrance, is the skate park, a basketball pitch and a couple of tennis courts, which are well utilised by the people. We leave these behind and head over towards the Park Lane entrance, and this was another project mentioned on the application for the lottery fund, was the repair of the wall between the cemetery and the park. This does look in a very poor state of repair, and we see that nothing has been done over the past 4 years and no money has been spent here. So one entrance and boundary and nothing is spent. We head over towards the Starport Road entrance now, and we see here some iconic steps with many videos showing water rushing down them like a fountain when it rains. On the right hand we have a five-a-side football pitch where the old bowling green used to be, and the old toilet block, which has not been used for some time. Again, no investment here. After walking past the block, we see the bandstand ahead of us. And this is looking very refreshed after receiving a coat of paint. Well, we do see here some investment into such an iconic building in the park. This building has been the centrepiece of the celebrations here. Lots of local bands and orchestras have played here at weekends, and has been a big draw for the people of the town. One of the highlights on the Queen's Silver Jubilee was Blind Lemon playing in the park. The Santa Run is held every year, with thousands of Santas running through the streets of Kidderminster in aid of Kemp and fetes for various charities. The original bandstand opened in 1934 by Mayoress Woodward, just in time for George V's Silver Jubilee. It had God Save the King painted around the front. So we leave the bandstand behind and head over towards the Richard Eve Fountain Monument. This monument was erected in 1902. It is built in a very prominent position in the park to a man who had no ties or ever visited Kidderminster. The Masonic Lodge of Kidderminster raised the monies by public subscription to build this monument. In 2013, a time capsule was put inside this monument to mark Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee. The renovation of this monument, together with the painting of the bandstand, was also mentioned in the proposed works. So as we leave this behind, ahead of us we can see the public toilets. I can't find any information on when they actually replaced the red brick built toilets, but I can find out that they were renovated in 2017 with the help of the Emily Jordan Foundation. So I thought I would take a quick look inside, considering it's 7 years ago since they have been renovated. A little bit of a pause there, but they smell beautifully clean, and I suppose for 7 years of wear and tear they were very usable. The proposals also had the provision for a new toilet facilities for the park, with wonderful drawings depicting these. But alas, 4 years after the funding was received, there seems to be no new toilets in sight. From there, we head into the sensory garden. This was dedicated to the teenagers who died in the school minibus crash in 1993 from Hagley School. This is kept and maintained by the Emily Jordan Foundation, set up by her parents in 2008, offering work for those with learning disabilities to partake in horticultural work with the volunteers. Also nestling in this garden is the sundial. From what I can gather, this is not the original one. That was vandalised. The volunteers here told me that with this funding they were hoping for gates to be put at each end of the pathway here, as many of the displays were vandalised during the night. As it's March and the plants have just gone into the ground, I dug out a few pictures of this garden in full bloom. So as I wander out of these sensory gardens, I just wonder where all the money has gone. Watching these little critters playing along the fence here, there's plenty of these in the park. 4 years since the council has been awarded this money, and from what I have seen so far in March 2024 is that the bandstand has been painted. One of the bullet points in this plan is the development of the Emily Jordan Foundation, their horticultural yard, to heat their greenhouses, improve welfare facilities and make it more accessible to the public. Taking a peek in here, albeit at the back of the greenhouses, it does look a bit derelict, and the greenhouses are empty and certainly not heated. As we leave the sensory gardens, ahead of us is the brown patch where the paddling pool used to be, in my lifetime anyway. Many fond memories of picnics and paddling here. Prior to the paddling pool, it had been an ornamental lake, and before that, a duck pond. Part of the plan is to restore this. It's 2024, and no signs of any progress. Opposite the proposed ornamental lake is the Sons of Rest Pavilion. As we approach it, we can see what a very sorry state it's in. Absolutely shocking. Again, we see in the plan the bullet point to improve the Sons of Rest Pavilion for use in a wide range of activities, and the very expensive artist impressions looking absolutely amazing. This photo was taken prior to it being boarded up and fenced off. But what on earth has happened to it? I asked my friend, who is a friend of Brintons Park, if a lorry had crashed into it, as the structural damage is really quite extensive. She wasn't aware of anything like that happening, just that it had become structurally unstable, or how that is some unstable. So from the pavilion we head up towards a very busy Starport Road entrance, and it's very good to see the Union Jack flying. I leave the park via the Sutton Road, Starport Road entrance and walk down Sutton Road towards the front of the Sons of Rest Pavilion, with barriers up here as well. This building was opened in 1938 by George Eddy, who was the Mayor of Kidderminster. He served 4 terms as Mayor, 1927, 28, 36 and 37. This pavilion became home to the 21st Scout Brigade, and on December 16, 1908, the first recorded Scout meeting was held. 1911, Sir Robert Baden-Powell visited the town to inspect the Scouts here in Brintons Park. This is how he would have seen the pavilion. So I head back along Sutton Road, back to the main gates and car park entrance, wondering what has happened to this £3 million, because the only noticeable thing I could see was the painting of the bandstand. If Wyre Forest District Council has invested this money, will they also be spending the interest gained on the park? I can imagine 4 years of interest on £3 million would be a tidy sum. Let's just hope they haven't invested it like they did with £9 million of council taxpayers' money in 2008. When this money was lost due to the financial crisis and the collapse of the Icelandic banks, at least their bankers went to jail and the people of the country voted against a government bailout. But the council were on the hook for this money. In 2012, the council leader expected nearly 100% from Landsbanki to be returned. They did not mention the other 2 banks though. In June 2016, almost £1 million was yet to be returned, 8 years after the crash. It was reported that there was lively debate over the complacency of the council in getting this refunded. So here we are in 2024. We are looking at a potential looming banking crisis here in this country. So let's hope these funds can be used for the enhancement of this park in the very near future. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. As I said, 2024 will be a very interesting time to be alive. And this is a snapshot of what is actually happening in our town.